So I don't usually commentate on drama, but as someone who just got done with a 1-hour deep dive into intellectual property, I feel like I'm in a unique position to add something. Namely that Pokimane is right about being able to legally take down the bunch of videos she did. Yes, even the compilations of her and Keemstar's video tweets. That doesn't make it ethically right, mind you, but I just want people to, properly aim their criticisms and, help along the open marketplace of ideas. Also views, fuck you. So if you don't know, League, Twitch, ASMR, YouTuber, Pokimane has been in hot water lately for a number of things. One of the main things is that she's been taking down videos using her copyright. She doesn't take down explicitly commentary or criticism, but she has taken down Twitch clip re-uploads, sometimes selectively on ones with, let's say, exploitative titles and thumbnails.
God, you put somebody else's butt on a thingy of me.
She's also taken down re-uploads of Twitter video chains between her and Keemstar. Now, Keemstar, Memology, and the follow-up video to the first big exposed video, I guess, the one done by Fainted, they all agree that these things come under the fair use defense of transformative, thereby making the things Poki did false strikes. Anyway, what they say is that because it's edited, that makes it transformative. Keemstar even makes reference to case law of some undefined variant that supposedly proves it. Thank you, Keemie, very cool. We'll talk about this a bit. So there's one really good article on nolo.com that really helped me wrap my head around transformative because it actually goes through and outlines a bunch of case law examples. So I'm mostly going to paraphrase that. What it basically boils down to is, has the meaning, expression, or message of the work changed, not has the work changed at all, as would be the case with most small editing jobs. I don't remember which dumbass said this, but no, you cannot just add a fez to an image to make it transformative. It did not change the meaning. You're just trying to loophole the laws and the court will throw you out. See, when Keemstar refers to case laws, I'm assuming he's referring to Karyu v. Prince, which directly makes reference to collages, a word Keem used in his post. But in that court case, it's referring to shit like this being transformed into shit like this. You should be able to see what I mean when I say you must change the meaning of the copyright material. In the case of Prince, the photo he took could no longer express the same thing. Karyu was all natural and landscapes and beauty, but Prince was rough and dodgy and digital. This is actually the same pretense under which I sell some of my shirts. While the character is not my own intellectual property, the line "frogs come pre-lubed" is, and it drastically changes the meaning of the product from just a normal shirt that sells on the appeal of the character being, cute or cool as the character was originally intended, to instead being part of a design that sells itself on an original, not safe for work joke. Or at least that's how I'd argue it. I'm admittedly on much more shaky ground than something like Philip DeFranco's pretentious shirts that use trademark branding to directly parody it, rather than just to make a joke. A compilation, though, is so many more levels away from transformative because all the copyrighted material still means the same thing. It's just thrown together with a bunch of other copyrighted material that has similar meaning. In the case of compilation, what we're talking about is still unquestionably the video that Poki made. They still give the exact same kind of entertainment or information as in its original form. It's like saying I can grab someone's artwork, add it to my video, and claim that purely because it adds meaning to my own work as a whole, that it's transformative. No, I have to change the meaning of the thing itself to be transformative. I can't just put it on another platform with other copyrighted material that gave it context on the old platform, or surround it with other material it has associations with. The only time I can see that working is with Crobcat's videos, where he provides no criticism himself, but takes unconnected clips about certain topics and uses them to contradict each other or provide evidence to a title. The only thing that you can argue that's transformative about re-uploading this Twitter fight is that it gave it new meaning by adding convenience and accessibility because it was deleted, which we'll talk about in a second. The Keemstar Twitter exchange is a little more complex since it involves his own copyrighted content, and if he uploaded it, it would absolutely come under criticism, but that would be Keemstar's copyright, not the uploader's. Some credit has been given in the past to Convenience with the Harry Potter lexicon, basically a wiki in book form because it took a lot of copyrighted information and made it more accessible, but ultimately it was decided that the sheer amount of copyrighted passages were too much to consider transformative and the right to publish an encyclopedia belonged exclusively to JK. Apparently the fact JK planned it was a factor, although going over the actual case law, it's not mentioned in the conclusion or at any length as compared to the other factors, but perhaps, maybe you could argue that the uploaded Twitter fight makes information more accessible and is therefore transformative, but you're running on very unstable ground. Technically speaking, a lot of copyright cases end up being decided in court rather than by any clear laws, as a lot of it's very vague, but the best we can do to go on in determining if a takedown is, legal, is legal precedence, which we don't have a lot of. Again, don't get me wrong. What Pokimane did was ethically wrong. Obviously, she regretted getting into this Twitter fight and then tried to restrict the flow of public information. That's fucked up. In fact, in both these instances, the core issue seems to be her trying to delete things that make her look bad rather than to protect her right to profit from her own property, and that's a problem. But the idea she's not legally within her rights to issue takedowns because it's transformative is sketchy logic. I think Fainted is much more on the right track by pointing out the hypocrisy. Showing the clips where she herself has a lax approach to other people's copyright proves that she doesn't actually care about what is and isn't transformative. She's not protecting her property when she makes a claim, she's protecting her image, and that's the ethical issue here. Oh, also, if you still don't believe me, transformative can't work on the basis of simple editing and / compiling, because if you say that, then it means by the same logic, I can just stitch every episode of Game of Thrones into one long video, maybe, I don't know, remove the openings and endings, and maybe, I don't know, put an Alt-Shift-X episode summary between each to meet memology's definition, then upload it to YouTube and say, there we go, here's my transformative work. Fucking come at me, Hates Bureau. There's a reason why intellectual property laws are vague. It's so you can't loophole them with definitive rules. Also, while I'm on the topic of transformative, I have to say, oh jeez, memology, fuck, dude, bro, you're going to have your whole channel fucking terminated? Motherfucker's about to be bearing, Jesus fuck. You cannot use this as your intro for your videos. You cannot just take everything about the Netflix intro, the sound, the animation, basically the font, and think it constitutes transformative because you changed the word Netflix to Memology 101. Here's why. The actual copyrighted things you have taken is being used for the exact same ends with Netflix as is being used for you. In both situations, they are being used for an intro, they are being used to form an association with your brands, and they are both being used as a catchy eye grab. Like this or this could probably both be argued as transformative because they change the meaning by using it to tell a joke. Furthermore, evoking that IP is necessary to make the joke, and as some documents say, it copies no more than what is necessary. But what you're doing is much more similar to the Dr. Seuss Enterprises v. Penguin books, where a guy made a parody of Cat in the Hat, when in reality all he did was retell the O.J. Simpson murder trial in the style of Cat in the Hat. Ultimately, it was deemed that the Cat in the Hat was a vehicle for the parody, not the target, and the reasons for using it as a vehicle were not significant enough to outweigh the possibility that he just wanted to piggyback off brand recognition. Much like when YouTuber Bearing ripped a character off of a Cartoon Network show for a personal avatar and used it in every video, he did not change the meaning or expression of the drawing, he just repurposed it. He took a drawing of a cartoon bear, perhaps changed the voice and character, but ultimately used the drawing as the same drawing for seemingly no other reason than it was easier to not just make something himself. I.e., the point of intellectual property to begin with, to incentivize creativity. In your case, you have zero logic for this. The copyright you took wasn't the word Netflix, it was the sounds and styles associated with their intro. In order to make this transformative, you'd have to change the meaning of that. What you did was not transformative because you just used those sounds as an intro to, I guess, be a catchy eye grab and sell your brand, which is the exact same as the Netflix intro. Genuinely though, you can find all the trademark documentation for the stuff you ripped off online, even the fucking sound going da-dum. And what's super volatile about trademarks is that if a brand or logo is too ubiquitous in the public, it can be used as a defense for a violation and the company can lose its trademark. So they have to police it. So seriously, go into your YouTube editor, crop out all your intros, thank me later. Anyway, going back to Pokimane, ultimately my point is that I think people should be focusing on ethics rather than legalities. It's a much stronger argument against her character to point out that she's restricting the flow of public information or that she's enforcing her copyright against other people when she herself is guilty of the same thing. And to her, I think she should make a choice. She either has to stop using content non-transformatively, or she has to give up policing her own copyright, especially when her policing seems to be selective to videos she believes reflects badly on her. She also has to fix her sincerity problem if she wants to restore her public relations. She's falling into that typical YouTuber trap where they apologize for like most of the stuff, but various context clues make it seem like they don't really believe or really understand what they've done wrong. It's much like Tan's video. You can sob and grovel as much as you want, but if you're vague and inspecific about what was wrong, about the things you did and what led you to that conclusion, it comes off as insincere. The people who like you believe you, the people who don't. Like the whole call where she goes through the guy's Instagram, she talked about, in her video, about the Streisand effect and how it sent hate his way, which seems to be kind of weird, because whether a creator is responsible for his or her fans or not is still highly in debate. The core problem, what people are actually angry about and is reflecting badly on a character, was I think that she veered away from debate and just went for irrelevant personal insults, and it was simply petty and superficial, and doing it in front of a few thousand people made it worse, but I don't think that was the core. You can't really... Wait, why am I telling anyone any of this? Hang on. My PR track record is incredible. Why am I monetizing this? This is such a huge market for shitty YouTube apologies. What the fuck am I doing? Hey, Pokemon, hit me up and I'll teach you how to make a better PR video. If it stays over 90% likes for the first 2 weeks, you pay me $2K. Yeah? I'm actually fucking serious, by the way. I don't know why I never thought about selling myself as a PR guy. Alright, bye. Oh, God, that's bad.